autopilot engaged.
Steadbound. Clear for sonar contact.
Welcome to the Titanic VR guided tour. We are currently 3.8 kilometers below the surface of the North Atlantic and 100 meters southwest of the bow. This submersible is on autopilot. I'll provide you with information about locations as we pass them, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy the dive. If you look at the monitor in front of you, you can see it on sonar. Expect visual contact any minute now.
Send pair for visual contact.
There it is. There's the bow. You can see her two side anchors and the front railing. And as we travel up the stem, you'll see the anchor crane still standing proudly. There. The RMS Titanic was 269 metres long, 28 metres wide, and 72 metres tall from the bottom of her keel to the top of her masts. At 46,328 tonnes, she was the largest ship built at the time. She would be servicing the transatlantic route, a journey from Southampton, England to New York, USA. Here we are travelling over the forecastle section. You can see the various capstans and winches, as well as the large forecastle hatch leading down into the hold. On the right below us, we see the foredeck ropes draped across the deck, and on the left, the rope winch and a foredeck vent. Now we're going to make our way towards the forecastle mast and up to the bridge. After departing Queenstown, modern-day Cove in Ireland, on the 11th of April, she began her 5,360-kilometre journey to New York City. The night of the 14th of April was moonless, and a light fog was developing on the horizon. Titanic's captain, Edward Smith, had received a number of ice warnings during the day and to change their course so they were further south to avoid the affected areas. The captain retired to bed, and First Officer William Murdoch took charge of the bridge as officer of the watch. Titanic steamed ahead until 11:40 p.m, when the lookouts Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee spotted an iceberg directly ahead. Fleet and Lee were standing on what's called the crow's nest, which we can see before us. The mast has collapsed and the crow's nest lies on its back. Above the crow's nest platform, you can see the mounting bracket for the bell above the access hole. The bell and telephone can be found lying in the debris field. The lookouts would climb up a ladder on the inside of this mast to reach the crow's nest. Fleet rang the warning bell 3 times to indicate an obstacle ahead and phoned the bridge. Murdoch gave the order, hard a starboard, but it was too late. The Titanic struck the iceberg on her starboard side. The impact buckled hull plates and sheared rivets, revealing her first 6 compartments to the ocean. After the collision, Titanic stopped and almost immediately took a starboard list. Sailors were sent up to the boat deck to begin pulling the covers off the lifeboats. Titanic carried just 20 lifeboats. The total capacity was only 1,178 people, far less than the total on board. The captain ordered the boats to be filled with women and children first. All men and boys over 14 years old were initially refused. Murdoch eventually started putting men into the boats. However, many women and children, especially those in third class or steerage, never made it up onto the boat deck. Of the 109 children on board, 52 were in steerage and did not survive. We are now making our way up the mast towards the wheelhouse. Here we see the telemotor, which was part of the hydraulic system used to steer the ship. Below us you can see plaques dedicated to all those lost during the sinking. These were left by various diving missions to the site. And as we head to the starboard side, we see a davit, commanded by Murdoch to lower the lifeboats into the murky depths below. By 1:45 a.m, the forecastle was almost underwater. Panic began to rise through the passengers still on deck as they watched boat after boat launch. A few male passengers were physically removed from the lifeboats. Murdoch allegedly fired his pistol twice to warn the men on deck to move back, while others were dragged out by other male passengers. A large group of women and children then took their place, along with a few of the crew and the owner of White Star Line, Joseph Bruce Ismay. This davit number 1, is the only one remaining in a standing position. We're just travelling over the boat deck now and up onto A deck, where we will eventually be over the opening for the grand staircase. We are passing now over the forward funnel. The forward funnel collapsed at its base, with the resulting wave crushing the starboard bridge wing and those swimming in the water nearby. This opening was originally a large wrought iron and glass dome that allowed natural light to enter the stairwell. It was an opulent, lavish staircase that spanned 6 decks, from the boat deck all the way to E deck, continuing through to F deck as an ordinary stairway. As the officers were struggling to get all the lifeboats away from the ship, waves washed over the decks, carrying people and the collapsible lifeboats into the ocean. We will now make our way over to the opening in the Marconi room skylight. We will need to transfer over to the remotely operated vehicle, or ROV, to do this.
Set and prepare for rover transition. Prepare for rover transition.
Throughout the night,